Welcome back to the channel. We went and had lunch. All right, we came to Tops. It's a little hole in the wall, grease ball joint that you know, you can't eat inside, you just get drive through. So I got mine. Reese got cheesy tots. I heard you laugh. So, but you like sit in the car and eat. So yeah. And how long do we have to wait? That's what the line looks like all the time when they're open. It's like 5-6 cars deep all the time.
Probably 30 minutes.
This is how many, what, the third or fourth time we've tried to come down here?
In the last few weeks?
In the last few weeks, and they're always closed. They close it supposedly at 6. They've been closed at 5:30, 5,
4:30.
4:30. So today we came down here and we caught them while they were, caught them slipping. So anyway, it's good though. Not as good as Blue Dot, but it's good. It was really good. We like going to hole in the wall type places. What are we doing now? Well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. One thing I'd like to do real quick, and we've done this many times, or we've done this a couple times. Let's weigh our stuff. Stock flywheel, stock clutch, stock stuff, 43 pounds on the nose. What are we replacing it with? Well, if I can ever get the dang thing open. $29.7 pounds. It's what, 13-pound loss? I'll take it. 13.3, whatever you want to call it. It's called 13 and a half. So that's what we're putting on. Oh crap, I gotta get my shims too. I'm glad I just looked at that. So I can go ahead and put the flywheel on. We got some Loctite. We're also going to use our ARP bolts versus the stock stuff. No big deal there. So anyway, let's see if we can get all this put back together and get it set back in the car. We'll call that a victory. All right, we have torque checked our flex plate bolts. They were all good. Now we're going to got some brake clean, just wipe off the flywheel, and we've got our shim that we peeled. It may look a little weird, but we'll cut these sections out and then we'll bolt our clutch on, and then we'll be ready to put the bell housing on. Look at how easy this is. Who said working on cars was hard? You know what they were talking about. Clutch bolted on. Now we can put our bell housing on, and then put the trans on it, stick the headers in it, start sliding it in. Again, like I've said before, old SN input shaft, or any old Fox input shaft, technically speaking, or 5-liter one, man, makes life much easier than the plastic to me.
And on these, technically these are supposed to be about 20, I think they're 23 pounds or something. I just, you know, I don't torque check these. I also don't put any locker on them. I know put some blue or something. I've never had one loose when I've taken it apart. I've taken a few apart. So we've got our little shim in there. I'm hoping that that doesn't cause us a bunch of like slippage when we're racing, just enough to keep the trans alive. That's all we're hoping for. But anyway, if it doesn't work, we can say we tried something. So we'll just go back to the drawing board. I'd hate to break the transmission and have to do a head swap and a transmission swap. Man, that'd suck. So anyway, all right, let's get the bell housing on, get the starter bolted on, get the transmission in it. Well, it's in. Sorry, I forgot to reposition the camera after we put the trans on. That's my bad. The headers welded to the collectors. I don't know if that was my best. I don't know if that was my best idea ever, but you know, it's all in there. Oh, guess what I forgot to do? Put a bolt with some art, plug up the block dipstick tube. That's what happens when you start thinking about lunch. I just completely slipped my mind. But fortunately, like I say, with a tubular K member, I think I should be able to get in there and do something with it. And now we just got to hook everything up. We did dump out some trans fluid, so I'm gonna have to pull the top sight hole on it, sight plug on it, whatever, fill it up. Don't know how much we dropped, and then just finish putting it back together. So I guess we'll finish up bolting up the headers and do a few other little things before we call it a day. It's kind of hot out here, humid a little bit. We got a tropical storm messing around down below us, so hopefully the weather stays good. We can for next weekend at least. Good news is typically after one of those things comes around, we get some cold air, so it's supposed to be cool next week. Anyway, but let me start bolting headers up. You guys have been working harder than I have. I mean, look at the dust. They've been chasing each other, and they're wore out. They'll sleep. They'll be, me and Mom trying to watch TV. You guys will be laying on the couch sleeping. We have got the distributor cap on, plug wires back on. Brake booster back hooked up, distributors hooked up, oil lines hooked up. We got to get a connector for the water pump. I don't have any electrical connectors except for wire nuts. So I didn't feel like scrounging too much. Dipsticks in. I checked the drain plugs, make sure they're tight. Still got to tighten the transmission cross member down. And put the bolts in the actual cross member. We got to put the carb back on it. We got to put motor mount bolts in. Radiator. Shift it back on it. Put some fluid in it. We put a bolt in for the factory dipstick. And now we're filling it up with some of Walmart's, or I should say Sam's Club, finest fully synthetic oil. Holy guacamole, what do we got here? It is a box. And I'm gonna make sure it's for me. Yep. Just checking. It's a box. Hey, what's up? This is not a box for Henry. Let's hurry up, open this up. Oh, God. Got that wine voucher. Ah, whoa, stickers. Hey, the economy must be recovering. Golly gee whiz. Man. Of course, it's just 2 stickers, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. The glass is always half full. And when you got this wine voucher, you can have multiple glasses half full. All right, what do we got here? Well, 2 things that we needed. I like how the other thing. These are for Trojan Horse. I ordered the wrong freaking fittings, but I got the right ones now. And the other thing that we got is our steering wheel for Pro Stock. You guys may recognize this or one of this deal because I've got one in the Fail TD, and they have went up in price, but it is lightweight. So sweet, that's going to be for Pro Stock. I really like the one. Obviously, I like the one that's in the Fail TD. It's really light. This is made by Jones Racing Products. They come in 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 inch, black, natural, you know. But I really like the one that's in the Fail TD. And when we scrape a few nickels together, a few more nickels together, we're going to mate this with a lightweight race column for Midwest chassis. That's what we have in the Fail TD. Really liked it. I like that whole setup. It's lightweight, gets rid of all the nonsense, and then at some point we'll do the wiring. We're gonna, order a switch panel and stuff. I'm gonna do it probably just a tiny bit different than I did like the Fail TD or I did Love Boat, just a little bit different, but not much different. So we'll have that and get that done. So this and do the manual brakes. It'll be a little bit before we get our steering column, but Jason, every time I hold this, I'll be like, you know what, Jason got this for me. You got this for me. Now this can also go, this could go in the Love Boat. I realistically want to do one in that car too. I just like it, especially in the Love Boat, because I don't have anything in there, so the race column will be cooler. But down the road, that's something I will do. That's what happens when you got 8 project cars and you're trying to do stuff. Certain cars won't get stuff like this. Trojan probably wouldn't get something like this. Silver car probably wouldn't get something like this. But Pro Stock, yeah. Crusty, down, yeah, maybe. Probably, maybe. I don't like to think too far ahead, but yeah. So anyway, Jason, this is what you got. This is what you got for me. It's really cool. I really like this, so I'm ready to. Now it's got to scrape together the money to get the column. Then we can put it in. But anyway, cool. Another piece of the puzzle. Now we need to probably do some work. All right, we've got the clutch cable hooked up, engine to chassis ground hooked up, carburetors hooked up, transmissions filled up, drive shafts in tight, shifters on. Got to put the motor mount nuts on, and we got to put the radiator in it. Fan up. I think at that point it'll be ready to roll over for some oil pressure and then ready to fire off. So let me get these dealios going. We'll be back in just a minute. Jags are over there wrestling and acting freaking nuts. They got the dust. We haven't put any water in it yet, but we had a bad relay for our fan. It was crapped out on us, and we got that. We just replaced that. We rolled the motor over a little bit, checked for some leaks. We're just going to fire it up real quick. We're going to change the clutch cable. Our factory quadrant has decided that it's done doing what it needs to do. So we're going to put we got a quick release firewall adjuster in the cable. We were originally going to use these in crusty, but you know, just to buy that, just something else we got to buy to replace it. But anyway, that's what we're fixing to do. But real quick, like, I was just going to give it a cold start, see if it'll start. Tell the fresh stuff, at least my stuff, because I've spilled oil and transmission fluid and bodily fluids all over the headers. Tussin tip, you do not want to be partaking of Mountain Dew while you're installing something fresh that's flammable, because literally if I just spilled some Mountain Dew with those headers, the whole thing might have erupted. I mean, it might have went off. So that's just tussin tip. So you keep the Mountain Dew away from flammables or electricity, sparks, basically internal rage. Bad combination. Very flammable. I'd also like to point out that this headlight is zip tied in. I don't want you guys to think that anything is other than what it is. So this headlight zip tied in. Is that the correct way? No. Is it probably pointing at the sky? Yes. But you know what? Jesus got the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Lord. So, oh gosh. All right, so what are we going to do now? We're going to change the freaking clutch cable out, quadrant. It never ends. Got the old cable out, mostly old for the thingamabooty was basically rusted in. Still got to take the original quadrant out. You may notice the box fan laying over there. It's not injured, it just fell over. If you've never done a firewall adjuster, no big deal. You take this rubber piece off. It's got nubs on it. You grind those down. I like to lubricate the cable and run it back and forth, back and forth. I did not use Girl Lube. I put some PB Blaster in it and run the cable back and forth just to put a little lube in it. And that's typically, we still got to get the factory quadrant stuff out. The other thing too is, oh wow, this one actually fits. Huh. Sometimes that hole needs to be enlarged a little bit, but this one goes right in. So goody goody gumdrops for us. We'll rather than fight with that bolt, we'll just drill us a new hole in there. This also has a set screw in it, so We don't usually mess with it a whole lot. Once we got it set, we're usually pretty good. So, anyway. That's where we're at. I'll put it in like that. So, all right, cool. Let me get the old quadrant out. Typically, I just break them because they're garbage. I'm never going to reuse it. That is a piece of garbage. Hand Puppet had to work to get that out. These things are such crap. Jesus Christ, I hate these things. Okay, this is all we do now is leave you guys in cliffhangers. We've got the clutch. I always seem to forget how much I hate doing quadrants. They are such like a pain in the butt. For something that's so simple, should be like a 5-minute job. Oh gosh, and plus, you know, squeezing up, I'm not the smallest guy in the world, so it's kind of, you know, anyway, I got it swapped out, and we've got the clutch adjusted pretty much. I think I'm going to satisfied with it right now. I haven't ran or anything like that. It's already late. I got on the phone, talking some stuff, potentially something upcoming for the channel, so surprise, surprise. But we still got to put water in it, and other than that, I think it's, you know, kind of ready to get off the jack stands. We still got to put the lock nut on the clutch cable and stuff, blah 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 blah, but and kind of run it through the gears and feel it out. But otherwise, I think we're pretty close. So anyway, thanks for commenting, thanks for subscribing, thanks for all the ways you guys support the channel. Thanks again for the card. You saw what we got for it. We're going to put that steering wheel, we're going to put that in this car. I've said it like 80 times. I like that wheel. I'm excited. Especially, thanks for watching. Until next time on the Substandard Leader in Fox Body videos on this here man's YouTube, and One Year Only Lincolns, and Ford drag vans. We'll see you guys in the next vid. Oh.